Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. It's time to continue on with the U.S. campaign on Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail. And as I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that I might do, I've decided to go back and replay the previous two missions to see if I can get a little better outcome. I'm not going to show you everything to do with both of those missions, but I will kind of show some of the highlights and show you how it may differ than it was the last time. One of the first things I'm going to do is, you may remember that on this mission before, when I brought Old Truelove in, they pretty much lost all of these troops, which meant I lost most of my army. I'm going to be more careful with that this time. I'm actually going to try to use Old Truelove right off the bat to try and take these two smaller vessels. I want to knock them out of the action before the other ones arrive, and the best way to do that is just to try to board. Some of my stronger ships will be coming along a little bit later on. All right, so here we go. We're going to try and capture the HMS Speedy, which is a 2-star crew. If we can grab them right off the bat, that'll be very helpful. I've also got the Independence going around, or going after the Newberry at the moment. And it looks like we have dispatched the HMS Speedy in short order with a loss of 76 men to do it. I'm going to go ahead and transfer a decent amount of crew members over to that ship now. And now we'll try to do the same. Go grab the Newbury, and we'll start to bring up these other ships. Revenge, and should have, there's Hancock. We're going to try and just go after the mast on this big one. I think it's the Glasgow that we need to take out. Once we get them kind of stuck, the Lennox, that's the one on this one. I'm thinking of the next mission is a Glasgow. We'll try to capture all the smaller vessels. We'll try to just disable the Lennox as best I can. All right, Truelove's going to try to grab onto the Lennox. Obviously, we are outnumbered here, so I don't expect to actually knock it out, but I think if I can at least bring down their crew to an acceptable level, we should be able to take care of them later. Come on, keep turning into it. Don't let them break away. Oh, see, now we're taking the broadsides, and that's where it becomes a problem, because now they kind of screw with my crew. And they're going to get away. Alright, let's grab the Minerva instead if we can. Independence got lit up. Alright, Hancock's taking out the Tireless, so that'll be one less ship to worry about. Old Truelove is hopefully going to take out the Trave, which it is. So we're slowly dealing with all of the other ships, which is something I didn't do last time. I kind of generally avoided those other ships and just focused on trying to take out the Lennox. This time we're going to leave these other ships out there, having been captured, and then we're going to go after the big prize. Alright, so now what we're trying to do is we're going to start going after the masts on the Lennox. The Trave they took back by sending some men, but that's totally fine. I wiped out that crew anyway. The Newbury is out, so now we can bring the Speedy back up here. So basically at this point there are two ships left. The Minerva's not anything to worry about. I'll capture that at the end. We've got to get the Marigold, and we've got to deal with the Lennox. I'm pretty content to sit right here as long as I can, going after Lennox's mast. So I'm going to bring the Revenge over here to try to go after Marigold. Alright, Revenge is taking a lot of damage from the Lennox, but we are going to grab the Marigold, so that'll be one more ship that's taken out of the action here. In fact, it may behoove me at this point to move my entire crew over to that ship because of the damage that was taken on Revenge. Hancock's in bad shape too, but mostly just the crew is in shock. Alright, so I've basically sacrificed the Hancock in order to slow down the Lennox, who was trying to get away. So I would have time to bring up Margaret, which is my other troop ship. I'm going to lose the Hancock in the process, but now I'm starting to wonder if we can use this fire. Now that Hancock's on fire, maybe we can use that to our advantage. Because it would be rough to lose Hancock, and I'd really like to capture the Lennox, but Destroying it works too if that's what's necessary. Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to help us very much there. We're just going to lose the whole crew on the Hancock. It did get the Lennox on fire, though. And now the Margaret's on fire, too. So let's not do that, I guess. Alright, they both are gone, and now we may lose the Margaret. Oh, the Margaret. As soon as the Lennox died, the battle was over. So we lost Hancock to do it that time. But we did save most of my crew. So I don't know if that's better or worse. Honestly, I don't know. We did capture a number of ships. So let's go ahead and take a look at where things stand now with everything. Okay, we finally got British Command contacting us about the captives, which is something they hadn't done before. I could get 4,200 in gold. I think I'd probably rather have the reputation at this point. So we'll do that. We also won the side mission, light damage to Virginia and Freedom. We sank the enemy ship. We got an award, the Navy Good Conduct Badge. So now we're at the end of a chapter. So I guess we'd go ahead and end the chapter, and then we'll see where we're at with everything before we get into these battles one more time. Technology. Technology is so expensive, and I just honestly can't afford to spend anything on those things. I definitely want to... let's take a look at some of these options. Repairs cost, damage control. Repair at sea. That's repair. That's after battle. That doesn't really help me a lot in the meantime. And techs I just can't honestly afford at the moment. So I think we're going to go with luck, and that'll just give me huge bonuses to these side missions, which will gain me some extra money. Now here's the situation. We obviously need Revenge repaired. We need Virginia repaired. We need Independence repaired. So that was a crazy expensive set of repairs that we had to make. And it works out okay not having captured that ship because I can't use it in any of the upcoming missions anyhow. So that's a bunch of Admiralty points I don't have to spend. Now that we know a little better what lies ahead of us. And we didn't lose Old True Love this time. Didn't lose any of the other ships. So that's the good news. And I didn't lose the majority of my land troops, which I did last time. So we basically traded capturing that huge ship, which I can't use, for a bunch of things that I can use. So we're going to go ahead and get refit and ready for this next mission. So we've got some crew upgrades now for the Virginia. The first one's going to be just for morale. Let's see what the second one allows. Gunnery and boarding, reload and accuracy, rotation speed, and move speed. That's the Virginia. It's only a 28-gun ship, but I think we'll go with gunnery and boarding. So I don't think we can go any higher, and there's really no upgrades we can make, just explosive barrels. So we're just going to start loading these guys back up as far as their crews go and get ready here. All right, so now we're back to the Battle of Block Island, and I kind of have a different idea in mind. I think rather than trying to rush Walrus and Chelmer up to where they can escape, I think the easiest way to win this battle is actually going to be just to take out all three of the British ships. So that's what we're going to do. And I'll send these ones up under AI control for now, while we try to deal with the Glasgow. I think the Revenge ought to be able to take Glasgow out. We'll start by going after their sails. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a rigging shot. Take out the whole thing. We'll start sending these ones over. They're all bigger ships than what I have, but I think if I do things just right, that shouldn't matter. Wow, that happened way faster than I expected it to. My very first volley, and I got rigging shock. I aimed up real high on the forward mast. can see right here is where I aimed, and it seemed to have worked well. Let's try to do the same thing on this side. He's getting a little out of my range, though. Then I can start hammering down the... actually, if we could just get the rigging and we could keep everything else secure, that might be ideal. But if I can start hammering down the hull a little bit, then we can start trying to take out his crew. Alright, now we're going to start worrying about the crew. They've got 100 more men than me. So, yeah, you can see I'm taking some damage to my hull, but... yeah, we got to be careful here. I'm going to start switching back to solid shot. I think I've got to cause more damage to them than they do to me. And I've definitely got the maneuverability on them. So that helps. They're causing a lot of damage right now, and I'm on fire. Alright, we pummeled the Glasgow into surrender, so that's some good news. Now we need to send a crew over there to grab it, because they still had something like 240 men on board at the time of the surrender, so that was perfect. I just want these small ships to cause trouble on these ones, maybe even deal with their sails a little bit, make them more difficult to maneuver once I have to go deal with them, especially this big guy here, the yeoman. So I'm keeping them under AI control, but I want to try and direct their fire just a little bit, and then we'll start taking all of our ships up there to deal with them. We've got the Boston and the Virginia over here. We'll start heading up that way while they're still dealing with these smaller ships. Revenge isn't going to be of much use to me at this point, so I may just try to put some of their crew on the other ships if possible. I think Glasgow just needs to escape and get out of here. Alright, so these ships did a little bit to the yeoman. They did much more to the Uther. They actually did a pretty decent job wearing down the sails on that one. So now we've just got to be super careful here, because he's got a lot more guns and men than I do. But if I play my cards right, I can't see. Okay, we did target it. I just couldn't see it. Gonna take a volley right here. We're just going into the wind, so it's been rather difficult. Trying to get the Boston over there as quick as I can. That's the Providence. That's the other ship up there. Not a big deal. Except it does get Uther to remove some of their men to place on the Providence. So that's actually really helpful. Alright, well, I've been using everybody I can to pummel this thing with canister shot, and we're finally bringing the yeoman down. But I'm going to be awfully thin for taking out the other two ships. Just hoping yeoman will surrender pretty soon, and then it'll be less of a factor. I don't want to get boarded here, that's for sure. So we got to make sure we're staying clear of that. We'll let these smaller ships hit it for a little while. I'll switch to canister. Because here come the others. All right, I'm going to take the Virginia up here to deal with Providence, and it shouldn't be that difficult. Honestly, all we need to do is come up here and put a couple of broadsides into it, and I think it'll sink. Boston's in really bad shape, so we're going to have to get them out of there, and we're going to try to finish off the Yeoman with the Revenge if I can. I've just got to be careful there, too. But then all of that means I've still got to deal with the last British ship, which I may not be able to do. So we're going to try to go ahead and sneak Chalmer and Walrus past them if I can. Alright, let's put a couple shots into Providence. I'm going to put them on AI control. I think they can handle that. Okay, Revenge and Yeoman are almost even on numbers now. We've taken out a good bit of Yeoman's crew with canister fire. We're just going to keep that up till they surrender. Revenge is almost dead in the water, so unfortunately I've got no choice but to try and board Yeoman now. Alright, here we go. This is going to be interesting because these are two ships that are pretty evenly matched at this point. Yeoman's got more guns, and if it gets a broadside into me while I'm trying to board, it could be really ugly. Come on. Board, board, board. No, 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 no. Ah, they broke free. It's tough to board when you're going opposite directions. Virginia did take out Providence. We got them to surrender, but the problem is the Uther is a-comin', and I don't have much to deal with it at this point, besides the Virginia. Still trying to deal with the Yeoman. I gotta get these two ships to sneak past here, but the wind situation is not a real favorable one for them. Let's try to go this way a little bit. If I put them on AI control, they end up trying to come over here and help with the fight, which is ridiculously stupid. Alright, so we are retreating the two ships that need to be retreated. We're slowly wearing down the Yeoman. We're staying clear of the Uther, and we're downwind, so we should be good there. I'm hoping we can take out the Yeoman before those other ships retreat. Looks like we're about to be boarded. Maybe we can do the same. Get a little Yeoman sandwich going on here. Yeah, looks like Virginia might win that. I don't know how it's going to go down. Yep, we took the Yeoman. Now the tricky part here, of course, is I don't really have anybody to board it with. We gotta slow down. Now what we gotta do is we gotta hope that these two ships get out of there. Chalmers retreated. Walrus is almost there. Come on, Walrus, get there. And we've got to do that before the Uther gets into range. So let's just keep all these ships headed in this direction as quickly as possible. And that should be the battle. I lost a lot of men, but I captured quite a few ships. Although one of them I ended up losing again, so I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. Okay, Walrus is retreating to safety. My other ships are getting away, and that should do it for this battle. So here's the situation. After that one, we got a bunch of promotions. We captured a bunch of guns. So let's take a look at the actual ships here. You can see how that all kind of played out. So we'll see where we're at now. All right, so we gained our prestige, our experience, our money. Let's look at our ships now. Got a whole bunch of them. We got the Glasgow, 44 guns. We got the Revenge. We got the Yeoman. So those are the two big ones that we captured that time around. That'll be very helpful moving forward. So we've got a pretty nice fleet at this point. I definitely find myself in a much better situation than I did before. I don't have the really big ship, but I'm not able to use it at this point anyhow, so it wasn't doing me any good. So let me know your thoughts about all that moving forward. We kind of see where we're at as far as the reset goes. I've kept my army intact, which I know I will need at some point. I grabbed a few more ships. I don't have a lot of money to refit and get them ready, but Battle of Turtle Gut Inlet is going to be our next one, and that's a pretty big battle, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll come back with that in the next couple of days. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.